Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is the first part of our series, our Twillow Fusion series. So we'll be doing 3 different episodes, and this is the first one. The next one will be on the 22nd at 1 p.m., and the next one on the 29th at 1 p.m. I am super excited to introduce you to these wonderful people who I am so honored to have as friends and colleagues. I am Tanis Coughlin from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and we are here today to talk to you about spirituality and for you to get to know these awesome teachers. So these are teachers that are working with the Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and they are an amazing group of talented, wise individuals. And so I'm excited for you to meet them and hear them talk. And so we're going to do brief introductions right now. So I'm Tanis Coughlin, like I said, and I am a Reiki master, crystal master. I am a channel, Celtic shamanic high priestess, and a galactic ambassador. And we'll go ahead and start with the others. So Gary, can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Gary Chatham. I'm a transformational life coach, and I have a master's in counseling. And I focus on mind, body, spirit wellness, and I help others create the life they desire through deep transformation, healing of emotional trauma and negative patterns, which can also help relieve physical symptoms.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Jennifer.
Hi all, I'm Jennifer, and I am a registered psychotherapist, certified Canadian counselor, life coach, Reiki master, Aqualead master. I do Nocti practitioner, work with EFT, TFT. Really, there's a lot of different modalities that I use, and my goal is to really help my clients come to know their true self and what that means and how to live that in a day-to-day really being able to kind of understand the spiritual aspect of them and bringing that into how we show up in everything that we do.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Ruth.
Hi, I'm Ruth, and I am what am I? Sorry, just a wee bit.
You're a Reiki master. Right?
Yeah, I'm a Reiki master practitioner. Sorry. I am also a holistic aromatherapy specialist, and I empower my clients to come into their own spiritually, physically, emotionally, and using a variety of modalities, Reiki, light therapy, aromatherapy, and I think that's it for me.
Oh, I think Tanis might have frozen on us. So Karen, go ahead.
Thank you, Michelle Marie. Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Stillman. I am now a transformational life coach. I'm a retired obstetrician gynecologist, Reiki master, sacred childbirth with Reiki practitioner, and I also use my Ayurvedic yoga teacher training as well as a subconscious release technique amongst many of my other tools to help women find their very best health and well-being, knowing that dynamic, vibrant health is your birthright. And through the subconscious release technique and other coaching techniques, I help you get back to that if you haven't been there. And if not, find it again if you've been there once before.
Oh, fabulous. Okay. And Ramsey, tell us more about you. Oh, you're on mute, Ramsey. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ramsey. I'm a medium and a holistic healer. I'm a Reiki master. I've done therapeutic touch and other modalities. There's a whole slew of them. And I'm also a psychic medium. My goal in life is to help people awaken to their true self. And with that, I help them with all my knowledge and experiences to live a more fulfilling and happy life. Thank you. And Michelle.
Thank you, Ramsey. My name is Michelle Marie. I am the owner and operator of Astrological Tarot, which gives you a clue of what I do. I am both a Vedic and Western astrologer, as well as a tarot and oracle card reader. And I absolutely love doing what I'm doing, just like the rest of you. And I'm so excited to be here and be a part of this, and just to be in your energy today. And just to let everyone know, Tanis is her area is going through a storm, so she might be a little bit in and out during the show today. But we're going to be just having a discussion about our spiritual modalities and our practices. And we're also going to get into questions. If you have any questions about our specific practices and what we do and how we can help you, go ahead and let us know in the chat. Please, this is an interactive experience, and we welcome all of your energy. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with how our spiritual practices are integrated into our own lives. And who would like to go first? Any hands?
Sure, why not?
Oh, Jennifer, you are brave. Okay, you're so brave. We love you.
It's funny because this is easy and hard all at the same time. How is my spiritual practice integrated into my life? It is my life. So what does that look like? I'm always on a journey. I'm never at a destination. And yet I'm able to see both the joy and the struggle. And I'm able to honor the process. And I think that when it comes to spirituality and spiritual journey, it doesn't really matter what belief system we decide to use as we want to move forward. I've studied everything from, I have a degree in the Christian faith. I'm an ordained minister. I'm also a Sufi, which is a mystic for the Muslim faith. I've studied the Hindu faith and tradition, Buddhism, all of it, right? And so I really, we can say that this, underlying, they're all, kind of the same. And they really are, right? Because when we get to the mystical side of what it is to be who we truly are, it really is about transcending the ego self. It is about coming in to know who we are in oneness, in connectedness, and allowing that energy to raise our vibration, to bring us to a place of unity and love. And that's really what it is for me to live my spiritual journey.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. Tanis is back. Oh, yay.
I'm back. So sorry, guys.
On screen, Tanis. There you go.
I am so sorry, guys. We had a storm here a couple of weeks ago, and my internet's been on and off and kind of spotty since. So my apologies. I'm super happy to be back. And just wondering where we talk.
Uh-oh.
Did I freeze again?
Yes, we're talking about how our spiritual modalities are integrated into our personal lives and practices.
Perfect. And Jen, are you the only one that's gone?
Yes.
Perfect. So Ramsey, please.
Okay.
Thank you for putting me in this spot.
It's a little slower with everybody here, so please be patient. There we go.
Also, this is the first time we've done a big thing like this, guys, so thank you for your patience.
So my spirituality awakened 10, 15 years ago. I wasn't sure what it was all my life. I knew there was something there which I could not point a finger at or hold it, but it was there beyond the religion that I grew up in, beyond what I believed in. And 15 odd years ago, I got a hit in the head and I go, oh my God, is this it? So, of course, at that point in time, I wanted to leave everything, go live in the woods and turn into a monk and just do that all day long. But thank God I was pulled back from the brink of monkhood and came back to real life. And I realized is that with time, spirituality is not something that you acquire. It is not something that you attain. It is a way of life. Just like Hinduism is a way of life, it just be who you are within the environment that you're in. Have love and respect for yourself first. And from there, it goes to love and respect to the others within your group of environment. And every time you work on yourself to remove part of the conditioning that we were brought in, the people around start to change also. So spirituality has a ripple effect. It's like throwing a stone in the water, and then you see all these ripple effects coming out. And that's what happens. It starts with me, you, on our own, and then we start expanding outward to the environment around us. So I started to use that in my practices of energy healing, and helping people intuitively in order to align themselves with who they truly are. Because most of us, actually, we have lost our ways. Just like me, I lost my way, and then all of a sudden I woke up and I realized, oh, this is the right way to go. And the right way didn't have a religion or a spirituality by say, but it's being you. Just by being you, connecting with your higher self, or your inner inner heart. That's what resonates, and that's what I do during my practices. Hope this helps.
Beautiful. Thank you. Karen?
Thank you, Tanis. For me, I have leaned into, from growing up Roman Catholic, feeling that there was a gap in my spiritual upbringing in life, despite having lots of religion presented to me. It was when I had finished medicine, gone through a bit of a health personal crisis, thus the retirement from the Western medical field, and did some alternative things and found out that really leaning into that, I am spirit. I am a perfect spiritual being. And right now, Karen Stillman, the spiritual being, has this human suit that I get to borrow for this short period of time, because I've had a date of birth and I will have a date of death. And hopefully that's way far out in the future. And what I get to do right now is I have this ability. I have these choices. And as Ramsey had said, whatever choices I make can help me. It has that ripple effect to those around me, so that I can share and learn and grow. And I do bring in that religion that I grew up with. I don't believe that, though, God is a white-bearded guy in the sky, but there is a grand overall designer. There's some other force greater than me, and I partner with that. So I get to co-create this amazing life that I would love to have. And it is my birthright, because I am perfect spiritual energy, that I can get back to that perfect essence of, or get to it, not so necessarily back to, but get to and become and embody that dynamic health, achieving what other goals I would love to with the other practices that I help people utilize, so that they can find that best wellness, that well-beingness that they would love.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Ruth?
Okay, so I can resonate with everything everybody has said. I was basically brought up, what's the word? I guess Episcopalian in the U.S. and Anglican in Canada, but my parents turned to a cult, and so I was brought up basically in a cult as a child, and I grew up and went away for a while, thinking that all religion, spirituality was. I didn't want anything to do with it. And then I grew to realize that religion and our belief system are completely different from our spirituality and our spiritual lives. And everyone has a right to believe what they believe. I have friends who are totally atheists, but they still believe in kindness and love, and in living for the higher self. And even though they don't word it that way, and that to me is what's important. And so it doesn't matter what people believe, as long as it's a higher vibration. And so in my daily life, I meditate. I bring that into my sessions with clients, like praying before, asking ancestors, angels, and guides to join us in the session, so that the client gets the best out of the session and what is needed for their higher good. And I also use essential oils. Essential oils are amazing for both emotional, physical, and just a little reminder that anything that goes onto the skin must be diluted with a carrier or a fatty oil. Sorry, I couldn't let that go, guys. And so I started using essential oils like physically, but then learned that the more I inhaled this stuff, it was great. Not in a bad way, but that I realized it raised my vibration or it grounded me when needed. And so that's what I bring to sessions as well.
Awesome.
What else? The light therapy I use on myself when needed, and Reiki as well. So all my modalities kind of come into my daily life. Sometimes I forget.
As we all do.
Yeah.
I think you'll see nods around the head for that, around the
Yeah.
room for that, you know? Yeah.
And
Awesome.
so yeah, we're on this journey and we're all on it together. So
Beautiful. Thank you. And Michelle.
Hi, everyone. We actually have a really great question from the audience, and it was, if I can get it up here, things are a little slower with all of us on here. Could each of you give us a technique to deal with day-to-day insanity we now call daily life? And we're basically answering that question. So
We are, yeah. So there,
And
if you guys can add that in, and then we'll go back to the people that we haven't spoken to about it yet.
Definitely.
Awesome.
And I want to welcome Ted Bricks back to the show, and Sandy, welcome. Jao, Fermo, thank you so much for coming. We all appreciate your energy here today. As far as integrating spiritual modalities into my practice, I really liked what all of you said. And what really struck me was when, it's something that the quote that struck me was, we change when we tire of suffering, because each of you mentioned some kind of a pain point or a turning point where you had to make a big change in your life and go in another direction and allow spirit in. And for me, I was also raised Catholic. I love Christ. I love the angel realms. I love all of those things. But it wasn't a good environment for me, because my priest was found guilty of doing some things, and it really shook my faith a little bit in the system and in the way that it was, the direction it was going. And I also went through some family stuff, those pain points and a divorce and all those lovely things. And I learned that my discernment really wasn't on point and I needed help. So I looked into the tarot. I started studying oracle readings and cards. These were things that were kind of kept from me. Like, for instance, the first family I married into burned my astrology books. So it was not, my practices were not accepted by the people around me. So I had to first get out of that environment before I could really be me. And so some of the things that I now incorporate into my practice and that make me healthier and happier, spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally, are a lot of the Vedic techniques of healing. So I will wake up in the morning and do mantras immediately. Okay, because I suffer from PTSD from my past. And one of the ways that I get over nightmares is I drink a little tea and I do some mantras and I calm the mind just to kind of like get out of that headspace. And then I do what's called yoga asanas. I move my body. I do, sun salutations and a variety of other postures. And then I do something called pranayama if it's not allergy season, and it's yogic breathing. And then I do what's called mantra practice. I have an altar of all of the different deities. Jesus is up there too, along with Ganesha and Lakshmi and Vishnu and Shiva and Kali. And so I do my mantras. And then I'm pretty good for the day. And if I find myself getting triggered by someone or something, I go back to the mantras, or I have a little bit of calming tea, or, I try to center myself the way I felt that morning, because I feel like if you can center yourself in the morning, no matter what comes your way, you can better handle it. You're not just getting up, drinking a highly caffeinated beverage and going, let's go, or, crawling out of bed going, I don't want to do this. It just depends on who you are in the morning. I tend to be a highly anxious person, so I tend to do things to calm me down. So, and again, that also comes back to Ayurveda, which I've been studying and doing remedies for. Ayurveda is the study of life. I'm Vata, which is anxious, so I do things to bring the anxiety down. So, those are just a few things that I do. I also read spiritual texts. I have Sivananda's journal, the Gita. I just read the Ramayana, Sivananda's version of it. It's all amazing. It really sets to ground and focus me throughout the day, and also help people through my Vedic practice as well.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And Gary.
Wow, I resonate with everything everybody's already said. I was raised Christian in a mainline Protestant church, and there was nothing wrong with that, but it didn't really make me come alive inside. So when I was very young, before I went through the traditional Christian confirmation process, I realized I was feeling love when I spent time in nature. And can you still hear me? My sound went. Okay, my sound went. So when I was very little, I would spend time in the woods by myself, being an only child, and really felt love from spirit coming through nature. And then I went through a whole searching process, especially through my 20s, got caught up in more of a fundamentalist Christian church that wasn't healthy, and went through 2 or 3 of those, probably 3 of those that weren't healthy, and got hurt and disappointed. Then I decided to change from business to counseling. And as I finished my master's in counseling, I said, what's my spiritual path? What's my healthy spiritual path? Because it looked like a lot of things that were being taught were just cultural and part of certain religion, and not really connecting with spirit. So connecting with spirit is what the core of all these different paths are about. So when I spent time in San Diego and other places, I got to study under a Buddhist Lama, Tibetan Buddhist Lama. I went to a Sufi study group. I sang kirtan on the beach, which are the Hindu chants, and we also sang some Beatles. Went through all these different things, and I found at the core it's all about connecting with spirit. And as I've grown older, we're going back to, well, I often interrupt myself. We as humanity are entering a crisis stage with our connection with the earth. So we have lost that spiritual connection with the earth. And me, myself, I'm reconnecting through spirit, through a deeper connection with the earth. And that's what's coming alive for me. What I do in my daily practice is Reiki. I'm a Reiki master. I work on myself. I do mantras, try to spend time in nature. One of the biggest things you can do is to practice what's called mindfulness, which is just thought stopping, of just saying, hey, I have a choice in what I think about myself, what I think about my life, or what I think about the situation. And I can choose to create what I want by my thoughts. So that's something that's very quick and effective, and you can do instantaneously. But overall, it's connecting with spirit in the moment and learning to develop that voice to listen inside. Because yesterday I was working with a client, and I've got my angel or my guide or whoever it is on my shoulder, and I was questioning in my mind, why is he acting this way? And I had the answer right in my ear. So again, it's not a destination, it's a path. And as you grow in spirituality, you'll learn to hear that voice from spirit to give you that connection that you need.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. So I guess I'll tell you a little bit about my path too. So for me, I didn't have much in the way of religion. I really was very much like a personality going through, went into home health care. I was always that caring kind of, worrying about other people. But I ended up in management positions in home healthcare and had 2 big burnouts. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia when I was like 21. And so, dealt with sort of some of those symptoms going forward. So when I was under a lot of stress in management, it led me to look for alternatives to, decrease stress and feel better. So I ended up going for my first Reiki session, and I was like, never felt so good. I'm like, I need to learn how to do that. And that was kind of what I call my gateway drug to all of this, because it was really, it was about self. All of you have mentioned, and people have that essence of self inside, and that essence of self is that light, that divine being that's inside. So that's really, for me, spirituality is about connecting with that divine being. And we've talked about religion here a little bit, and for me, the big difference is, spirituality is something that we all have a need to connect to something greater than ourselves. And as we connect, we might use different tools for that. So, we've talked about all sorts of different modalities here, and I think that's evident of that, right? We all do different practices. We have different ways of going at things, but they're really all about connecting to self, and to something greater than ourselves. So that higher self, right? As well as spirit, God, universe, source, whatever we want to call it, right? And then, once we start to be able to do that, it's just a journey of getting to know self. That's what the healing journey is all about, is getting to know yourself on the inside. So for me, that led me. Reiki started it, and I started looking at spirituality from that energy perspective first. And then it led me to looking at tools, like crystals and whatnot. Then I ended up with my crystal master. I then ended up doing some stuff, becoming a Celtic shamanic high priestess. So really what that is there's a Celtic shaman, so there's journey work and all of that, as well as ceremony stuff. So how I bring that into my sessions is through doing ceremonial work, with my clients, so the ceremonial healings and stuff like that. And it just enriched it all for me in a big way, and then I had a download of another modality, which is a galactic energy. So I kind of use a little bit of each of the energies. Like shamanic practices are very earth-based, Reiki is very source-based, and then the galactic one. So for me, a lot of my spiritual practice is around using the energies to create change in your life. So whether that's, bringing more love into your life, whether it's getting to know self, which is the biggest one that I do with my clients. It's about that. And absolutely, love is the key to all of this, right? Love is the highest vibration emotion, and it's the key emotion for really following that spiritual path. So I'm super excited because Jacqueline was able to get on. So let's hear from Jacqueline. Maybe Jacqueline can give us a little bit of an intro, and how you use your spirituality in your daily practice.
Yeah. Good day to you all. Thank you for your patience. And it took a lot of deep breathing as I lift my shoulders, take them back, drop them down, and wonder, but why? I ask myself, and I know my clients and my friends and family ask, but why? Why is this happening? It's a great question. And I answer that every day. Why did it happen? What am I here to learn? I was introduced to my yoga practice through I decided I needed to look better in my world. When I was newly divorced, I thought, oh my gosh, I have to go out and date. I need to look the part. And so I went out and I got myself a membership at a health club. And I thought, well, sure, I'll get on that. So you start that, I'll go on every day. And then it became once a month. And then I decided maybe I need to do something a little bit better. So I actually became a group fitness instructor, because I thought, you know what? I can do it for me, and I can help you do it for you. And that's what I do every single day. How can I help you be the best that you can be? Because I know what it takes to step back and take a breath and understand that there's things that I can do for me internally to make it work. I am the wealthy yogini, and I talk about money, and I talk about yoga, and I talk about chakra energies to bring ourselves to a place that honors ourselves, our heart. I wrote a book called Yoga for Your Personal Finances. Yoga and money, how does that all go together? It all does when we take that deep breath and just get out of that space where we continue to say, you didn't do it right, you didn't do it the way it should be. Get into that space where I know I can, I am, I love. I am so happy to be here with all of you. Thank you so much. And I know there's more to talk about. And as I allow myself to let go and let go, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we do have a couple of people in our audience here that have a few questions. So most of us are intuitives as well. And so we often will add in some readings to what we do. So let's do a couple of the questions that we have here, and then we'll talk about something different. So what do you see about the job interview that I have tomorrow, please? Okay, so who's being drawn to respond to that one? Michelle, do you have anything for her?
Sure, I can pull some cards for you, Sandy, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I'll do the same.
This format's a little different because things get in the way as I try to drag people over. So just give me a second here, Sandy. Maybe if I hide this, I can put myself on here. Okay, Sandy. All right, well, Tana's pulled some cards. I'm going to pull some cards for you too. Use the Karma cards here. This is an astrological tarot deck, so of course I love it. It's made by Monte Farber. Career. Okay. Oh, I got a really good card. Okay. All right. So I got some dueling energies here. All right. The first card I got was Venus. Venus is excellent. Venus is material wealth. It's luxury. This is what I feel like you need from the situation. You need a place where you feel materially supported. And that's what Venus, also known as Shukra in Vedic astrology, represents. It literally says cherish, enjoy, art, beauty. So you're going to need a place where you can, a place where, what I'm telling you, what the spirit guides are telling me is during your interview, don't be afraid to express your creativity. Okay. Really show the interviewers who you are on that more innovative, creative level. Okay. And then I got Saturn. Okay. Saturn causes blocks. He causes restrictions. Okay. So if there are delays in getting to the interview, if there might be a few things that, prevent things from moving forward, know that that's just Saturn energy, and that's kind of how he works. Okay. So I did get that you're a highly creative person. You have a lot to bring to the workplace, but there are going to be some blocks and delays and restrictions involved in the interview. Now, another thing that Saturn does is he imposes limits that bring about maturity. Okay. So it's for your greater good. So when those little restrictions happen, just take them with take them with deep breaths and know that it's for your higher good. And then I'll pull something from my angel deck for you. Okay. Ooh, okay. You're going to need to kind of review your motives for going into this interview in the first place, because I got the 5 of air. Okay. It says an unwise choice, learn what you can from this situation and review everyone's motives. What I'm getting from this is really pay attention to the other side of this interview. You're going in, you want the job, you could be really eager about it, but pay attention to the work environment is what I'm getting. Make sure that this is a happy, stable place that's going to work for you. Because when I get Saturn, when I get that restrictions card, it tells me that this might stifle, your inner creativity. Okay. So That's the main energy that I'm getting from the interview. Let me go for my creativity oracle here. Okay, and don't fear how it's going to turn out, because I got the fear card. Okay, here's the imagery here. Tower there. If you want to be free of fears and phobias, then you have to understand why they exist and make peace with them. So this is not something to fear. Okay, try to do some relaxing exercises before the interview, and know that if there are any blocks or restrictions in place, it's basically your inner creativity and the spirit of art and love and your higher good stepping in and saying, we're going to put some limits on this. Okay, I hope that was helpful. And Tanis, did you want to add anything, or anyone else?
Yeah, I have a few cards for her.
Excellent.
Actually, and they actually match what she's saying right now. So she's saying she's not sure she wants to do this job, and it doesn't match her skills that much. And actually, I got school. So it's something that you would want to go to school to get a little bit more practice on in terms of that. Okay. Because I did get the creativity. I think that you're very creative and that you're not, I have music as part of that. And I think that it's not going to be a creative job for you. Not to say that you can't do it. Okay. I think that if you really want to do it, then you can do the job, right? I always feel we can do whatever we put our mind to, but if you want to, right? It's looking into that heart space. Before you go into the interview, clear yourself. Okay. Because they're going to want you to look, you need to use your intuition. You are an earth angel, and you need to use your intuition in this. And like Michelle said, feel into both sides. Well, she was saying that, I was like, yeah, for sure. So listen to your intuitive feelings about them, about the job itself, and about how you're feeling about it. That's my advice for the interview. And if all of that checks out, great, right? But make sure that you're listening to your intuition on this as well. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. A career reading. Does anybody else want to jump in on this?
I would just invite her as well, as you said, to clear yourself. An easy technique to do that would be with some breath work. Michelle mentioned pranayama, so that's a variety of different breath techniques. So one that's really simple is just a slow, deep breath in through the nose. Hold it for a couple of counts so that it circulates in the body, and then exhale slowly through the mouth, either on a sigh or just exhaling through the mouth. So you turn on that rest, digest, create mode. So that mode that both Tanis and Michelle were speaking to, that you want to turn that on. And today, ask yourself, as you lean into, what's their motives, where you're coming from, ask yourself, one easy question is, what would I love? What would I love? Would I love this job? Would I love something about this job? How it's going to bring things about for me? Or really, maybe this isn't where I wanted to go. So this will tap into that creative side that cards that Michelle pulled. So two simple techniques that anyone can do with anything. It can be as well with that day-to-day insanity, as the earlier question had mentioned, the breath work, doing 5, 6 of those breaths back to back. In through the nose, hold for a couple of counts, out through the mouth, and then, relax those shoulders down and take the next one on. Carry on.
Beautiful. Thank you. So I think we have quite a few career questions here. I just want to let you know we're actually going to be covering more career and finance on Wednesday, June 29th. Okay, so that's kind of our focus for that day. And for today, we're talking about spirituality. That's our topic for the day. So we just want to sort of ease into that a little bit. Does anybody have any spiritual practices that they haven't shared that they think would be really helpful, like tips and tricks kind of thing? Let's do a tips and tricks round for everyone. Okay, just like a minute or two each. And for me, I'll start it off, and I will speak to the job interview still, because that's something that we all kind of face. So when you're feeling really anxious about something, you're coming into something that can be a little bit nerve-wracking, right? It's important to use your tools. So I know that Ruth and Gary can speak to their tools in this as well. Ruth with the essential oils and Gary with the flower essences. But for me, I use Lepidiolite, really calming, or doing some amethyst. Amethyst is always a great one as well to help you do some calming. And going into a situation that you're unsure of, really carrying some black tourmaline would be a great idea as well. Okay, so those would be mine. So tips and tricks. Gary, would you like to add a little bit about what kind of flower essences we might use to stay calm and centered?
Sure, Sandy. What I was getting for you before is do some quiet time meditation and ask what your long-term calling is, what's your life purpose. And I'm getting something that echoes what the others said with creativity, but also with teaching. So see what comes up for you with that. But as far as flower essences, Mimulus is a great one for fear. And flower essences are not aromatherapy. They're something that's made by putting the flower blossom in spring water, letting the sun cook it, taking the blossoms off. And that's what creates what's called a mother tincture. And then they take that down and put it in a preservative. It's either a little organic grape brandy or some gelatin. Gelatin can be non-alcoholic. So you just take a few drops under your tongue or put it in water and sip it, over time. So Mimulus is a good one for fear, and that's the one that I had pulled out. Fear and anxiety when you know what you're anxious about. So if you're anxious about the job interview, Mimulus would be one to take a look at. But ask inside about your direction and see what answers you get.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you.
Candace, I just need to jump in. I'm really sorry, but I keep getting this, and I get this, like, I have to say this. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling very lightheaded at the moment, as if somebody in this group is holding their breath. Somebody is feeling this pressure to move in a direction that they don't want to go in. Either someone else is telling them that they have to go that way, so they think they do, or there's something coming up for them that feels like they have no other choice. And so they're feeling really trapped, and they're feeling like they just can't move past whatever. I'm sorry, I'm going to cry. Move past whatever is coming up for them in this moment. And I just need to tell you, you can. You totally can. The mind, we're talking about creativity, and there's all these cards about creativity. And on a not so positive note, the mind is one creative mess. And it can make up all kinds of stuff and make us think that we're stuck and make us think that we have no choice and make us think that there's like nothing else we can do. They'll make up stories to keep us in that place. And so whatever is coming up, get out of the head. Don't try to reason through this. Don't try to logic through it. Stop. Like so many were saying, take that deep breath. Like right now, I'm sorry.
Maybe we'll all just take a deep breath right now. Maybe that would be a great idea. All of you on Facebook as well, please. Okay. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we'll take 3 deep breaths. Okay. So in and out. And in and out. One more. In and out. Awesome.
Fantastic. Just to finish that up for whoever it is that this is coming through for, really take the time, do the meditation practice, do the breathing practice, do whatever it is that is your grounding exercise. Use, the oils that Ruth can speak to, the flower essences Gary could speak to, the whatever it is that really works for you. But find that space, find that grounding, and then go in and feel it at the core of your being. Don't try to figure it out, because as long as you stay trying to figure it out, you're going to hit that wall, and that feeling of being trapped, and that compression and that tightness is going to be there. So take the deep breaths, breathe through it, and try to feel which direction you're supposed to go in, as opposed to trying to figure it out. All right. Sorry for jumping in, guys, but I just had to get that out.
No, that's perfect, actually. You know, if any of you have something that you're tuning into that needs to be said, please, that's what this is about, right? And oftentimes when we have messages like that, it's more than one of you. More than one of you online is going through something like that. So, you know, it's great to have those kind of tips. Is anyone else feeling anything like that? Ramsey, did you have your hand up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's a message for Georgette. She was asking about a message from, or a guidance or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What I got is that there was a strong female energy, a mother, grandmother. I'm not too sure. She's well built. She's a strong woman. She was there with you. And what she was showing me, and I'm not sure if it's the same as the message that we just got, that you're kind of lost somewhere. There's a bit of anxiousness, heart chakra grasping, like heightened out of anxiety. There's lightheadedness, thinking too much of a project or of something. One of the messages is that flow like water. There's nothing there. You'll find your way. You don't need to overthink anything. Just move with it. Move with life, because not because, but she's around. She's around protecting. If you need messages, or you need something, she's always around. You can ask her directly, and she'll be able to help. But the message is that flow like water. Just go with it. Don't overthink it. Hope that helps.
Awesome. Thank you. And a big shout out to people like Georgette and Sandy and Lydia and Margie, Medical Marijuana, all of you for joining us today. It's great to have you here. Is anyone else feeling anything that they feel they need to bring forward to the group? Okay. So Ruth, if you'd like to share what oils would be great for, calming, relaxation, please, that would be lovely. That's another technique that's helpful for people.
Okay. It depends on what scents you like. Like, if I can give a whole bunch of oils, but if you really don't like lavender, or if you're allergic to orange, I would not recommend those. So these are just suggestions. And I would suggest putting them in a diffuser, or making a little aromatherapy inhaler. It looks like an old Vicks inhaler, or someone said it looks like a solid tampon. Anyway, sorry. But
It does.
I should have brought it.
It's okay.
Anyway, so yeah, you just drop the essential oils on the wick and then close it up, and then just close each nostril. And so I would suggest, for calming, cedarwood, usually Atlanta or Virginiana. Roman chamomile. And Roman chamomile is very calming, and it's also good for relaxing muscles. And what else? Orange. Again, sweet orange is amazing. It's uplifting, but it's also very calming. And if you have essential oils at home, like you can just smell, like open the bottle and just smell them and see what it does for you. Like, ask if it's good for you. Vetiver and patchouli are very grounding and calming, but I would also add sweet orange to those, because it counteract the grounding. So not to the point where it lifts you up, but it does add that little, we're okay.
And that would be a great one too for focus if you're going to a job interview sort of situation, right? Or an exam or something too.
Yes.
The sweet orange. Yeah.
Yes. But I highly recommend like blending them because like people, they work together better as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the orange, the Roman chamomile, and maybe like a drop of patchouli or whatever in like the diffuser or in the that thing, the aroma inhaler. Also, if you have rose essential oil, it's very expensive, but it really helps. It also grounds and uplifts at the same time, and it's very good for your heart. Just in the sense of making you feel calmer, and it's rose is my everyone knows rose is my favorite. And
awesome.
Yeah, so I guess that's about it. But
great.
Yeah.
Awesome tips. Thank you.
Sorry, I babbled.
No, not at all. It's always great to hear. So I'm also wondering whether we can just run through, and maybe you guys can all just give a little tiny, 1, 2, 3 sentence description of some of the classes that you're working on for the Academy, whether it's related to spirituality or not. Let's talk a little bit about that, just so that people can get to know what to expect. So, Jacqueline, would you like to speak about the ones that are already up for you, please?
Indeed, as I take a breath and I inhale, I open my arms and I bring them together. I'm so happy to be teaching chair yoga at the Academy. And I began teaching chair yoga for people who had an issue with vertigo. When you stand up and you go down and you stand up and you go down, but you want to do the practice. Let me have you have a seat and take a breath and straighten up and look forward. Also, for those, I have clients who've had knee surgery, hip surgery, and need to strengthen the muscles around those areas so that they are healing, or they can go into, if they need to, do the surgery in a much stronger place. So that's how my chair yoga works. And then you have the opportunity to do yoga for your personal finances. That's the book I wrote, but it's all about money and yoga and chakra energies. How do I get to a place where you're not feeling less than? And so those are a couple things that I get to work with Twillow Academy. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Karen, you have one coming up this week. You have the wellness class.
Yes. Hi, Dennis. I'm doing a wellness class using that subconscious release technique, that breath technique that really helps you get into those, as we've spoken to earlier, referred to as these subconscious programs, these programs that you really, belief systems that you're not even really aware that you've adopted. And this is where you feel this discord, this disharmony, that over time it creates an angst. Over more time, it can, precipitate and become a dis-ease and a disease. And this is where we have that ability, no matter where you're coming from, what the challenge is, with what you say, your words will speak to what's going on in your thoughts, which are speaking to what's been going on in your subconscious, because your subconscious has been eavesdropping on your entire life, every piece of it. And so we can pull out those programs that are no longer serving you so that you can have that enhanced wellness and health and well-being, and whether it's relationships, a career, money freedom, time and money freedom, whatever it is. So we can release all those for you so you can live that life that you truly would love living.
Awesome. And you've also got a 5 tips class coming up, 5 tips for wellness.
Yeah.
That's also coming up. So get some great tips from Karen as well on how to bring those wellness things into your life.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So if you don't have access right away to the oils, to the charms, to the crystals, there are a few other things that you can do just right where you are to help bring that about. Those other things are fantastic, but then sometimes you're on the bus and you're feeling anxious and you didn't bring a crystal with you. You don't have your oils in your purse. What do I do in that moment? And we'll go over some practices that you can do at those moments as well.
Beautiful. Thank you. And Gary, what are you working on?
I'm working on a class about the flower essences. And what I wanted to say with what we're all talking about is that this is just for informational purposes. It's not intended to substitute for the advice of your healthcare professional. So we're not doctors, we're not diagnosing disease, but flower essences are not essential oils, so you don't get them mixed up. But most of the time, you're not going to ingest essential oils. Flower essences are made to be ingested. So they work on a very gentle level to balance the emotions. And that's what we're going to be going into in the class.
Awesome. Yes, that is true. We are not medical professionals. This is not to be confused with medical advice at all. This is very much on the spiritual energetic level, right? We have 3 areas that we all work with that are involved in us. And there's that physical area where you need to go to your doctor for. There's that mental emotional area that you need to go to your counselors for. And then we have the energetic level, which is where most of us are talking about today. We're talking about helping the energy because they all overlap. And so the energy, spiritual life, all of that intersects with the other areas. But please, we are not saying don't go to doctors, don't go to counselors. Please do that as well. Okay, awesome. And I think that we had a question from Lydia about essential oils. Is rose good for your heart chakra? Ruth?
That is a definite yes. The rose essential oil is very high vibrational. In fact, it's one of the highest vibrational essential oils, and it is very good for your heart chakra. And it does a lot of, if I may, I can share a story. It's experiential.
Just a brief one in the interest of time, Ruth. We've just only got a minute left.
So, okay, short answer is yes. The story is my husband had died. I did not like roses. Someone told me to put rose essential oil on a cotton ball and put it on my pillow and or between the pillowcase and the pillow. And I inhaled that all night, and he came to me that night. So I love rose essential oil. I felt healed. It's a healing process, of course, but it certainly helped. And rose essential oil is amazing for grief, for anything like that. So yes, short answer.
Thank you. And while you're there, oh, sorry. We'll have her come back for a sec. What classes are you working on for us? Because you and I have talked about some classes that are coming up for you as well.
Yes, I'm working on a beginner class, and if you have essential oils and you've taken essential oil classes, this one's different because it will teach you safety as well as how to use them for your spiritual and physical life as well, and emotional. But again, as has been said, it's not to replace advice from a doctor. So it just don't quit any medications. And what else? Sorry, I've drawn a blank. I think that's the main one, is the beginning, and then I've drawn a blank. Sorry, Dennis.
We have 3 levels planned, I think. We're working on some of the others, but definitely the first one's coming out soon.
Yes, that's right.
That's awesome. Yeah. And Ramsey, do you want to share what you're working on, please? You're on mute, hon.
Here is. I'm back on mute. Just before I start, I just want to say one thing. Sandy, what I got for you, treat yourself like the most precious item that you hold in your possession. Don't just throw yourself out there. That's all. So what I'm doing, I have actually finalized 2 sets of courses for the fall, for the month of September. One is Know Your Spirit Inspirer. Basically, get to know who it is that guides you and gives you those intuitive nudges every now and then, and get to have a good relation with that spirit. And the other one was, it's called Reach Your Loved One Through the Veil. How to communicate with the spirit world. These are the 2 that I just started with now. There's more to come, but I'm just warming up on it.
Beautiful.
Thanks,
and you and I did a class together not long ago.
Yes.
So we will probably redo that, I would think, at some point, perhaps September or something.
Definitely.
About,
I can't remember what we called it.
It was like an intro to spiritual communication kind of class.
Intro to spiritual communication. Yeah, that was the title.
Yeah, so I think that'll be fun to redo too, if you're up for that.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So who else have we got here? Michelle, do you want to share with us? We have a few things happening in the background here, so just be patient with us, please. But Michelle, if you'd like to share some of your classes that are coming up for us, that would be awesome.
Well, I am definitely waiting until the fall because we have a lot of things moving in our lives right now. Looking to move, literally. But I was thinking, and you guys can give me some input on an intro to Vedic astrology class, just to kind of show people what it's all about, how it's a little different from Western astrology, and just to give the basics so that when I do give a reading or when I am speaking about it, you can have a better idea of the heck is that woman talking about? So I figured that might be a good start. Another one that's crossed my mind, and you can let me know about this, Tanis, is symbology in the tarot and oracle cards that, we're kind of drawn to, and going beyond the book that comes with the cards and looking at that. Just that came to me because I got the Whispers of Ganesha Oracle. It's one of my favorite oracles. And I noticed that like the mudras weren't mentioned, and the importance of a tilak wasn't mentioned, and all of the different Hindu symbology wasn't really mentioned in it. And then there weren't really a lot of crystals that went with the chakras and things like that. And so what I did was I read the book and then I made my own notes on what stood out to me, and just to kind of teach people the methodology of connecting with their decks and personalizing them so that you're not just reading from a book, you're really coming from a very deep and thorough understanding of either an oracle deck or the tarot or whatever you are drawn to. Those are the 2 main ones. They're kind of big, especially Intro to Vedic Astrology, because the course I took was 9 months long. I'm in my 3rd year of more advanced studies of Vedic astrology through a university right now. So the first year is really intense. There's a lot to go through. So trying to condense that into a class that the average person can kind of link to is a little bit of a challenge I'm going through right now. But I did write a book, so I can kind of connect with that.
And have you mentioned your book?
Yes, it's Vedic Astrology and You. It's being viewed by publishers right now, and it basically goes into how the different nakshatras, which are star signs and constellations, affect all of your different planets, the different modalities and transits, as well as I go into Ayurveda a little bit as well, and relationships in Vedic astrology. But that's still out there. My Saturn is on my moon right now. I'm in full Sadhisati, which is yoga that happens in the chart when you are blocked. So it's going to be a bit before I hear back. Yeah, when Jupiter was going over my moon, I wrote it in 5 weeks, and it was like this. It's like one of the most amazing things I've ever done. And then I put it out there, and Saturn crept up on the moon and went, "Ha ha!" So restrictions.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's some of the things that I'm doing. And just before I go, I wanted to reach out to Zhao. I believe he's on your channel, Tanis, your YouTube channel. He asked a question about a general reading, and I did pull a couple of cards for you just really quick.
Absolutely.
I got the 10 of air for you, Zhao. This is the end of a difficult situation. Okay, you've been going through it. So embrace change and expect things to go a lot better moving forward for you, because this is kind of my rock bottom card for your life. Like if someone were to come with me with like a physical problem, I would say this is kind of the addiction card or the getting over a really bad illness card. Okay. In a career setting, this is you're just getting over the worst. So, whew, all right. And then I got accomplishment. The accomplishment card. You see that beautiful star in the background? Remember past accomplishments as a way to overcome present self-doubt. So what I got was professionally, you might have gone through some stuff. The worst is over and you can now look forward to your accomplishments, and don't let the opinions and just the kind of oversights of others give you that level of self-doubt that you may be dealing with. Because I got the first house, put yourself first. Okay, this is the world is your stage right now. All right. And then I got the 9th house and the 12th house from the karma cards. And what this tells me is travel, expand the way that you think and do things. And the 12th house is make sure to incorporate your spiritual practices into your career. Okay, whether that's, bringing crystals to work or lighting some incense or saging your environments, you're going to need to do those things moving forward because you are coming out of a very difficult situation and your spiritual practice can really help you move through that. Okay, hope that was helpful, Zhao.
I can actually add a little bit to that because as you were talking, I pulled some cards. I got the solar plexus card. So that is about that self-care, right? Self-power, empowerment. And it says it is safe and for you to be powerful and take charge of your life in positive ways. Okay. So please know that even though you've been through all of this, like you will still be able to come out the other side and you're actually going to be stronger because of it. And know that you're working very closely with Archangel Michael, who's protecting and guiding you through this situation. Okay. So he has been with you the whole time and there's nothing to fear. He's there for you. Everything happens for a reason and they just make us stronger as we go forward. So hope that's helpful. And I just want to share, Jen seems to be having some technical issues. So I just wanted to share a little bit about what's happening with her and I. So we're actually working on a class as well. Oh, here she is. She's here. She's on mute. But Jen, if you'd like to unmute, please, and maybe share a little bit about what you and I are working on. I was just about to share that. Just a little bit.
Yeah, no, I've been listening to you guys backstage, so I don't know how I got back there, but I've been able to still listen, so that's good. Yeah, so a couple different things working on. I'd like to bring some classes to Twillow that are really about kind of connecting with the true self, our higher self. So looking at tools, modalities such as the Enneagram and human design as means of really kind of being able to understand what we're here to do and how the conditioning and the experiences that we've had impact how we show up and how to understand so that we can then transcend, right? And so the first step of making any kind of progress is to actually be able to have that awareness and know what's going on and know what's coming up for us so that we can then decide what serves us and what doesn't, right? And how do we want to move forward and how do we want to honor that which we're here to do and what we're supposed to bring to the world and to our experience. So that's going to be some upcoming classes that are almost ready to go. And then Tanis and I are also working on a full curriculum for all of those spiritual warriors out there who are doing work in other realms, other dimensions, dealing with the things that we can't all necessarily see. But really working on, how do I manage my energy in a way that allows me to, continue to do the work that I'm being called to do in a way that is safe and in a way that is really aligned with our purpose as spiritual warriors. So yeah, that's what we have in the works.
Mm-hmm. And it's like going to be a really empowering kind of class in terms of all encompassing and that sort of thing. For sure. Thank you. And so the other thing that I wanted to bring up is that we actually have a set of classes, like a program that we call the Inner Synergy program. And the Inner Synergy program is a really well-rounded curriculum. It's like a year program pretty much, because it was developed because I had people asking me to mentor them. And so really it takes you through all of those sorts of classes that will help to support. And it is multidisciplinary. So we have other teachers helping as well, doing these things, like Ruth is doing an essential oil piece, right? And there's a spiritual communication piece and all of that sort of thing. So we're really pulling together all of our talents and stuff to put together programs for you that will help advance not only your spiritual journey, because that's a big part of any career in energy healing as well, is really working on your own stuff too, because we're never done, right? We're all, I think if you ask everyone in this room, we're all doing our work all the time. And so that we will be as long as we're here, because it's a learning journey. And we're also working on a program that's going to be more of a healing-based program, where we're going to get tools and stuff from each of the teachers and bring those forward as well in a program to offer you. So we're working on all sorts of amazing things to help support all of your spiritual journeys and any career aspirations you might have in that field as well. We have Michelle and Gary, they didn't mention it today, but they actually are very much in marketing and business as well. That's one of their other hats. And so we've all been, and I'm an HR consultant as well. So we're all kind of working in the back on some ideas around even, managing your spiritual business kind of thing as well. So we're really trying to bring out any of those kinds of tools that you all might need. The other thing is that we would love your comments about what kind of classes you'd love to see, because we have so many talents in this room, and collaboration is key. It's all about collaboration for us. So whatever you might like to see, please let us know. Okay, and you can do that at tanis@twillowlifestyle.ca. Okay, so I think that we've gone a little bit over our usual time, but I think it's a wonderful thing that we're all together here today. Does anybody have any final thoughts they'd like to bring to the table? Because I feel like there's somebody in here that's like getting a hit for somebody, and so I want to honor that before we say goodbye. We've gone a little over. I hope you guys are okay with that. Yeah.
I pulled cards for Lady Annie Farrell. Yeah.
Hi,
and
Annie.
She asked, anything pulls up for me. Good to see you, Annie. I know you know Tanis. I did the Pulver method from the Creativity Oracle, and I got, you're going to evolve with time, and that will bring forth growth for you. So you need to remember that to be patient is what I'm getting. So creative ideas. Here's the Evolve card. How beautiful. Saturn's there. Oh, that's some fun restrictions. Creative ideas evolve out of invisible and profound nothingness and pre-verbal consciousness. Wow. This tells me you're pretty psychic, Annie. Then I got the Time card, which is, this can be seen to be both linear and spiral. Circle back to explore concepts from the past to create the future. Those are some really promising cards. Okay. And then it's going to bring immense growth for you. Look at that beautiful peacock. Those are very sacred to Krishna, to Lakshmi. Feel open, willing, and proud of your desire to explore new opportunities for self-development. Okay, so really good cards for you moving forward. You're on the right spiritual path. You're continually growing. You're evolving. Yeah, so I let it rip for you, as you said in your questions. I hope that was helpful, Annie. I love your energy, by the way, Annie.
Beautiful. Thank you. So we are coming to the close. Now, well, like I said, collaboration is key for all of us. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's here for sharing your energy with us. It's been a wonderful day. What I'd like to do is just ask each of our teachers to actually share your business and your contact info as well. Because they work with the Twillow Lifestyle Academy, but they also have their own practices. So I just want to make sure that they get to say something about that as well. So maybe just give us your business name and, and maybe a phrase about spirituality that's one of your favorites, or say a brief sentence or two. Okay. Jen, do you want to start, please?
Sure. As far as a sentence that's about spirituality, that's, whatever. Know thyself. That has been one for me that has been a guiding light to truly know who and what I am. My practice is My Holistic Self Counseling, and you can find me at www.myholisticself.com or on Facebook at Holistic Self Counseling.
Awesome. Thank you. And Gary.
I have so much in common with a couple of the other teachers here. Like Jen, I'm a counselor. I have a master's in counseling and also have a background in marketing like Michelle. So one thing I didn't talk about is I think a lot of the teachers are moving towards doing some work on healing trauma, healing emotional trauma, and kind of a lot of what we do kind of overlaps into that area. So I think you'll be seeing more courses come out with that. My website is garychatham.com, and you can find me there.
Awesome. Thank you. And Karen.
Thank you, Tanis. My website is under construction, but I am the president and founder of the Universal Wellbeing Institute, Inc. And right now I'm promoting a course program, which is my first love, which is the Baby Making Genius program. So that's helping women who are struggling to get pregnant, improve their fertility naturally, defy the odds, and have that baby that they've always dreamt of, from bringing it into their thoughts and in their hearts into their arms. And so at babymakinggenius.com, that's where you can find me, and you can reach me through Facebook, the same, or with the Karen Stillman.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Jacqueline.
Good day. And I am so pleased to be here, I have to say. I talk about practical and spiritual solutions to financial health. And writing the book, Yoga for Your Personal Finances, had me see so much. And I am so pleased to be with the Twillow Academy and continue to teach. And so my mantra every day is, I am. I am.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. And Ruth.
There we go. So the statement about spirituality, I guess, is similar to Jen's. It's be true to you. And my my website is not complete yet, but it's up. And it's my health and it's myhealthandwellnesscorner.com. It's long-winded like I am. And also the Facebook group. I have a Facebook group if you have questions about essential oils, if you want to just come and chat. It's Essential Truths About Oils Demystified. But I think if you just type in Essential Truths About Oils, it'll come up on Facebook. So, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you. That's awesome. And Ramsey, please.
Hi. My spiritual sentence is, in the end, nothing matters. So just be good to yourself. That's all that counts. And for finding me, you can reach me on, you can find me on my website, ramseycheaty.net, or on Facebook, Ramsey Cheaty, or I have another page on Facebook. It's called Awaken to Your True Self. But you can reach me in any of these places, and be good to yourself. Have an awesome Sunday.
Awesome. Thank you. And Michelle.
Hi, everyone. Oh, goodness. There are so many quotes, but my favorite one is we change when we tire of suffering. I know I mentioned that before. And when we go through the traumas, and the place, this is called Mitra Loka, the place where all things die. This is a transitory plane. They call it an illusion because nothing lasts forever here. And we come here to be students and to learn. And when we find that the modalities by which we were born with and raised with aren't working anymore, we start to inch closer to the dharmic path, which is what we're here to learn, how we're supposed to evolve as spiritual beings. And I love what you said, Jacqueline, I am, because we are all the I am. And that's the goal for all of us. And we're all just walking each other home with these different healing practices and modalities and techniques that we're going to be teaching and that are also part of our practices. My main practice is Vedic and Western astrology. I am also a tarot and oracle card reader. You can find me at astrologicaltarot.com. And I also have a tab on my website where you can click and see the classes for the Twillow Academy and enroll. So I just want to thank everybody for coming today. And I am sending you so much love.
Awesome. Thank you. So that is part of why I started the Twillow Lifestyle Academy, because the journey is all about learning. It is all about know thyself and the I am. We are all in this together, all of us, and we are all connected, right? So when we work on ourselves and we learn and we move forward, we help everyone. I often get asked, what can I do to help the world where it is right now? Follow your spiritual journey. When we work on ourselves, we work on the world. We bring light and love to all when we bring it to self. So I echo Ramsey in be good to yourself and choose love. Love for self and love for all. I thank you all for coming today. It's been wonderful having all of your energy with us. Thank you all of our beautiful team for being here, and know that we will be having 2 other sessions like this. There will be 4 or 5 of us on each of those calls on June 22nd from 1 to 3 p.m. We will be having a section about health. And from 2 to 3, we'll be having a section on emotional well-being. On Wednesday, June 29th, from 1 to 3, we'll be having a section on finance and career, and a section on relationships from 2 to 3. So we're looking forward to seeing you all there. Please check out the website at www.twillowlifestyle.ca, and you'll see the classes tab there to stay tuned for what classes are coming. For now and for September. September is when we're really gearing up. Okay, well, you'll notice we'll be taking a bit of a break in August, but we're gearing up for September. So stay tuned, everyone. And thank you all, Namaste, for sharing all of your beautiful energy, all of my team for sharing your energy with our guests, and all of our guests for sharing your energy with us. We send you all lots of love. Choose love. Have an awesome day. We'll see you soon.
Thank you all.